Teresa, good evening. The Russia-Ukraine war continues to rage on with no end in sight. European leaders believe they can force Russia to the negotiating table through increased military measures, which we are now more clearly beginning to see. Earlier this week, Ukraine announced a weapons deal with the United Kingdom. We told you a few weeks ago those American Patriot missile licenses were to be approved, but Ukraine is in need of such defense mechanisms right now. There is also a level of uncertainty at the moment when dealing with the Americans. This new deal with the United Kingdom is substantial for two reasons. The first being that Ukraine will gain access to the licenses of these Scalp missile systems, is what they're called. These are long-range systems that have the power to travel up to 250 kilometers. The hope is that these missiles can strike Russian launch sites for their ballistic missiles that are inflicting damage on Ukrainian infrastructure. The downside for Ukraine and its allies is that these weapons won't be ready for at least a year. Meanwhile, Dmitry Peskov, the Russian press secretary, accused the UK of fanning the flame of the war on Kyiv's behalf. Both countries will work together in the development of these weapons, with the UK providing parts and classified technical information. The second reason this deal is big is that Andy Burnham, the new prime minister in the UK, is continuing a hardline foreign policy stance that was also taken by his predecessors. At a press conference in Kyiv, his first foreign trip as head of state, he emphasized his commitment to the Ukrainian people and its ongoing fight.
Ukraine is not a poor relative, but a strong ally. I'd go further still. Ukraine has been Europe's protector, not a drain on our security, but the front line of keeping Europe safe.
Beyond this new military deal with the United Kingdom, Ukrainian attacks inside of Russia have been substantial in recent weeks. A key target of Ukrainian strikes have been against the Russian e-commerce businesses, specifically Wildberries. Think of Wildberries as the equivalent to Amazon or eBay in Russia. It has massive economic power in the country. You can see on your screen the severity of these strikes, and the buildings are massive in size, with billions of dollars worth of product inside these expansive facilities. Ukraine has also begun targeting Russia's second biggest e-commerce giant, named Ozon. The question you might be asking is why? Why target online retailers? It appears the game plan is to strike Russia's wartime economy and to hurt the existing supply chains while also inflicting a level of pain on the population. The broader hope is that the economic loss on these e-commerce giants will hurt Russian banks, its investors, and their logistics industry, with Ukrainian intelligence alleging Russian drone components have come from some of these facilities. Russia's big three e-commerce giants account for over $140 billion in revenue. That is the equivalent of 5% of their entire GDP. Also this evening, we are learning more about what exactly happened in Moscow yesterday when a marked U.S. military plane that was being tracked online landed in Russia's biggest city. American officials told Ukrainian military officials to resist any strikes in and around the Moscow metro area for at least 3 days. We now know the government official in Moscow was CIA Director John Ratcliffe. It is unknown what the meeting was about, although insiders telling the Washington Post it likely focused less on the current conflict with Ukraine and more on the global situation in the Middle East, although these details have not been confirmed. Others suggesting that this was a top-secret security meeting where traditional channels of communication were not trusted and the delivery of such sensitive information had to be done in person. Now, that could just be a lot of intrigue and intelligence intrigue. A Kremlin spokesperson saying President Putin did not participate in the meeting between American and Russian intel officials, but had been briefed on the situation. Meanwhile, President Trump was asked about the secret meeting this morning.
Can you tell me why our CIA director flew in the middle of the night to meet with the Russians?
Well, none of the above. He's there on, very sort of semi-routine. I hate to disappoint people.
This is obviously a region in the crosshairs of many moving geopolitical parts. For now, we wait to learn more on exactly what all this is about. In studio for the News Forum, I'm Lucas Michtics reporting.